I literally stopped using the XLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP function 10 years ago. And since then, I've been using this new approach that has massively helped me overcome the inherent problems generated by XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP when you use them in your Excel files. Things like Excel becomes ridiculously slow, especially when you're trying to run an XLOOKUP or a VLOOKUP formula on a very large data set. Another problem with large data set is that you can't really write a VLOOKUP in Excel which is beyond 1,000,000 rows of data. I mean, just the spreadsheet capacity is about 1,000,000 rows, so how are you going to write a VLOOKUP? Another massive problem is that when you write more and more lookups to get more columns from other data sets, the Excel file gets so big that it's just too much to handle. And because the file has gotten so big, the entire experience of working with Excel, be it pivot tables, applying filters, or running any formulas, becomes so bloated and slow that I can't even just imagine to explain. In this video, I want to talk about a new approach that will completely eradicate the need of XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP in your Excel files. Not only that, but it'll help you go beyond 1,000,000 rows of data and also carry out some pretty sophisticated analytics and also managing the size of your Excel files. With all that said, let's go check it out together. Before we jump on to the solution, let's just take a look at the problem real quick as to where do people face troubles. So I have got the sales data right here, and the sales data is relatively large. It's not 1,000,000 rows, but it's also not that small. So if you actually scroll down to the bottom of the data, you're going to see that I have about 672,000 rows of data. Now, obviously, this could be very large. If I happen to write an XLOOKUP formula here, trying to fetch any details of the product, since I just have the product name, if I want to get the name of the product, the class of the product, the brand of the product, the subcategory of the product, those are additional lookups from the products table. And here is my products table on top of this. This is another Excel file that I'm trying to work with. And obviously, I am trying to search against this product number, against the product number right here. And then perhaps I can get the name of the product or the brand family or any other columns which are there in the products table. I can probably add it here. The reason why you add these columns is because you need them in a pivot table analysis, and pivot table by default only accepts one source of data. So what you do is you kind of enrich this source of data by as many columns as you want, and then you feed that in the pivot table. The problem is that at the moment we have 672,000 rows of data, but if this data were more than 1,000,000 rows of data, then you would have to break the data into 2 Excel files and then carry out the analysis separately. How do we solve all of this large data slowness and inadequacy of large data handling in Excel? Let's just take a look. A few weeks from now, we are doing a Power BI Foundations workshop. This workshop is targeted towards the beginners in Power BI. That means your level is as such where you have learned Power BI, you know how to load the data. You also know how to probably make some fancy charts and visualizations, but you kind of get stuck while building real-time practical solutions that companies actually pay for and hire for. In case you would like to learn that, how do you take your level to a more advanced level where you start thinking about Power BI solutions and also building it, and the core skills needed to be able to learn Power BI in the right way, then this workshop is the right workshop for you. I'll talk about what are things that companies actually pay for. Since we also run a consulting company, we'll also talk about the practical projects that we have done in the company. And I'll also talk about real-time skills that you should develop in Power BI to be able to take your skills from the level where you're a beginner to a more advanced level so that you can build solutions in Power BI. It's a free workshop. The link is down in the description. I highly recommend that you attend one in case you are a beginner in Power BI. I'm in a blank Excel file and I will start to use the 2 insane capabilities of Excel that a lot of people don't know about, which is Power Query to connect to the data and then to push the data off to the data model or Power Pivot and then work with relationships instead. This is probably going to blow your mind. Please take a look. I'm working in a blank Excel file and I don't have any kind of data. I'm actually going to externally connect to that CSV file that contained the sales data. How do I do that? I'm going to go over to the data tab. In the data tab, I have a from text or CSV. I'm going to click right here. It asks me, hey, where is your CSV? I'm going to point to that sales CSV right here, which is here. And I'm just going to click on import. What this is going to do is this is first going to give me a little preview of the CSV. I can take a look. This CSV, when it is read by Power Query, it can actually read more than 1,000,000 rows of data. Technically, there is no limit to the threshold of the number of rows. You can have as many number of rows depending upon the capacity of your computer. computer. Nevertheless, I'm good with this data. Right now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just click on the transform data. This is going to put me inside of the Power Query window, and I can just take a look at the data. The first column is my invoice column, and sure enough, that's a date, that's a product number, quantity is a number right here, and region is a text. Good to go. At the moment, what I can do is I can actually push this data off to my Excel. That means this data can come in Excel. Okay, acceptable. But the problem is that if this data were more than 1,000,000 rows of data, then it's obviously going to go to the last row and stop loading beyond that. For which I will not load this data into Excel, but rather load this data into the data model of Power Pivot. How do I do that? I'm gonna go ahead and instead of saying close and load the data, which brings the data into Excel, I'm going to say close and load to. This is going to give me a window, which is where I have the choice. I can put the data in the data model and only make a connection. That means remember this that I have connected to that CSV file. That's the source of the data, but the data is not going to be loaded anywhere in Excel, cells and columns and rows. Rather, it is going to go in the data model. Once I actually click on OK, this is actually going to create a query, and it's going to take maybe like a few seconds, and all the data is going to load inside of the data model. At the moment, if you take a look at my Excel, I just have sheet 1 and no other sheets, no hidden sheets as well, and my data is there in Power Pivot. I can even verify that, so I can go over to Power Pivot. I can go and click on Manage, and I am going to see the data right here. You can see that it's all my data is right here. Now, obviously, if this data were beyond 1,000,000 rows, you are actually going to see all of the data. You can even apply filters to this particular data. That's nice. Now, the problem still exists. That means that in order to get any information about the product, which is 433, I still need to be able to create those columns that explain that particular product. Well, not anymore, because you're working with data model. All that I want is the second table to be loaded inside of Power Pivot once again. I'm going to minimize this window. I'm going to go to the data tab once again, and this time I'm going to connect to an Excel file instead. So I'll say data, and then I'm just going to say get data from file from an Excel workbook, and I'm just going to pick up the products Excel workbook right here. I'm going to click on import. This shows me the preview of the data. My data is kept on sheet number 1. That's my data. I'll again click on the transform data to step inside of Power Query for just a quick second, just to verify the data. Everything looks good, product number, product name, all of that. Power Query also allows you some very sophisticated data transformation. In case you would like to clean the data, you can apply the steps and you can actually clean the data. For the moment, my data is absolutely clean, and I don't really want to do any kind of cleaning, for which I'm just going to go to the Home tab. Again, click on Close and Load, but rather I will choose Close and Load to, which is actually going to push the data off as a connection to my data model. Click on OK. Now, one thing that I did as a mistake was that I forgot to name my products table as products. So I'm just going to go back to the query right here, click on Edit, and I'm just going to go back and rename the sheet 1 and instead call this as my products table. Good to go. I'll click on rename. This has been renamed. I'm just going to go and say close and load. Once you have chosen the load destination as Power Pivot, you're not going to see the close and load to button again, because it is now going to push the data directly off to Power Pivot. Close and load, and the data is now loaded as a products table. I can even take a look at the data in Power Pivot. So if I just go over to Power Pivot and then click on manage, I can actually see the data inside of the Power Pivot window, which is where I have the sales table and the products table. The problem still exists. That means that in order to explain the product, I need the columns here, and the columns are still contained in a different table, which is nothing but the products table right here. And that's the name of the product, the type of the product, the segment of the product, so on and so forth. Well, what we can do now is build relationships. Now, if I just go over to the diagram view, which actually gives me the summarization and the pictorial view of the two tables, I can see the two tables right here. If I were to write a VLOOKUP, like a physical column VLOOKUP, just as the way that I write it in Excel, in Power Pivot, that would just mean creating relationships between the two columns of the tables. That means that I'm actually going to go ahead and pick up the product number column from here and then go link that column, kind of drag that and link that up with the product number in the products table right here. This is going to form this type of a relationship, and the signs that you see, they actually have a meaning. This one simply means that the column that you have chosen to link, this column is unique. That means there are no duplicate values in here. There is also a second condition that needs to be true. That means this column also should not contain any blank values. And these columns, this particular product number column is a star. That means this column is duplicated. Simply means that the product was sold multiple number of times, and hence you have the duplication of the product, which obviously is expected. And that literally is it. Like, that's literally it. Now, in the sales table, I can, through the relationship that I have built, I can access any of these columns right here. Now, eventually, your need is not to create columns. Your need is to create the pivot table that shows you the analysis of those columns. Let's just build a pivot table. So, from the Power Pivot window, I'm going to go to the Home tab and click on the pivot table right here. And I will build a pivot table perhaps on the existing worksheet, and I can just build it right here on this cell here. Click on OK, and that's where I have a pivot table created. The difference in this pivot table is that if you actually take a look at the all fields right here, it's not only going to show you the sales table, which only contains the 4 columns, not the additional columns, but also the products table. But the benefit is that now you have been able to load 2 linked tables inside of a single pivot table, which by default is not available in a regular pivot table that you create in Excel. The benefit of that is that you can go ahead and say, hey, I want to take a look at the brand family. Click on OK. And these are all my brand families. And against that, I want to take a look at how many quantities were sold. So if I just maybe drag the quantity right here, I'm going to take a look at how many quantities were sold for every single brand family. You can also take a look at by the product. So if I just remove the brand family, or perhaps even get the name of the product underneath the brand family, now I can take a look at by the brand family as to how many products were sold. This is a gigantic task in Excel. If you were to write all of these VLOOKUPs or XLOOKUPs in your sales table and then get the data on a 672,000 rows of data, this is going to take so much of your time. But now, this completely eradicates the need of any kind of XLOOKUPs or VLOOKUPs. At this stage, you might have a question. What I have been able to analyze is that how many units of the products were sold, that is the sum of the quantity, but I haven't really done any analysis on the sales or the value terms of the product, the dollar sales of the product, which obviously I'm going to get till the time I take the price from the products table, which is this particular column in the products table, and multiply this particular price with the quantity in this table. If you were to imagine that in the world of Excel, I'm just going to quickly open up a Power Pivot, click on Manage. If you were to imagine that in the world of Excel, what that simply would mean is that against every single product number, I'm going to write a VLOOKUP in Excel to find the price of the product. And obviously the price of the product is going to come from the products table right here, which is nothing but an XLOOKUP or a VLOOKUP. Once you get the price of the product, you're going to take the price of the product, which is a column that you've created, multiply that with the quantity, and then you would get the sales of the product. Obviously, that is true. At the moment, that hasn't happened yet. But yes, that can happen. I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing that. One is the Excel equivalent way of doing that in Power Pivot. Sure enough, you can do that. But then I will show you a better way of doing that in Power Pivot. Note that these 2 columns are linked. The sales table and the products table are linked through a relationship which is nothing but the product number. And if I were to write a VLOOKUP in the sales table, I am actually going to search against the product number here and the product number here. And eventually, I'm going to try to get the price of the product appearing here. How do we do that? I'm going to go over to the data view. And in the sales table, I will create one additional column. I'm going to right click here and I will rename the column. I'm going to call this column as my price column, and I will start to write the formula up on the top. So this is the price column, and let's just see what the formula for the price column is. When you're working with Excel, obviously the formula happens to be an XLOOKUP or a VLOOKUP or an index match, whatever that might be. But when you're working with Power Pivot, the formula equivalent of a lookup is nothing but related. Now note that the related function is only going to work when you have an active relationship between the 2 tables like we have created. Only then the related function is going to work. I've done a video on related. In case you want to take a look at that, you can take a look. But the related function only accepts one input. That means which column do you want to search? And that's pretty much it. Since you have the name of the column, you don't really have to specify what position is it, and then you close the bracket. Just one input, press enter. At the moment, if you don't realize it, I am writing a VLOOKUP on 672,000 rows of data. If this was Excel, this would have been stuck. Like I could literally go off for a coffee break and see you in about 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then we will meet next. Let's just take a look at how fast does it appear. So if I now press enter, it just probably takes a snap of a second and you have the price calculated. Sure enough, you can take the price and you can add one more column, multiplying the price with quantity. That is going to give you the sales value, just as the way that I have done it. And once you have the sales value, you can actually go back to your pivot table and you are going to get the sales column right here, which you can drag to actually call out your sales analysis. Not bad, but not good either. What I have done technically is that to be able to calculate sales for this brand family and this product, I've literally committed to writing 672,000 rows of formulas just to make one column. Not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go back to my Power Pivot, click on Manage, and I will comment out this formula. I mean, I'll not delete it because you can take a look once you download the file, but I'll comment out this particular formula. How do I comment it out? I will just write equals to and double forward slash, and this is not going to execute the formula. This is just going to make it blank. So once you remove these two forward slashes, you can get the formula back. Nevertheless, I still want to find the sales, but I don't really want to write the VLOOKUP. Well, I'm going to go back to my pivot table, and in the pivot table, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a measure, like a calculation. So in Power Pivot, I will click on measures, and I'll say that I want to make a new measure. And I will say that I want to make my sales measure. Let's just call this as my total sales measure. And I want to do something like this. I want to do the equivalent of multiplying the quantity and the price and then summing it up. To do that, I'm going to use a function called SUMX function. I'll say, hey, why don't you go inside every single row of the sales table? In every single row of the sales table, first write a VLOOKUP. And for that, I said, hey, use the related function. So related, get the price of the product, and then you multiply the price of the product with the quantity that is already there in the sales table. And that is literally it. Simple as that. So do the multiplication of the price and quantity row by row, and then you sum it up. Simple as that. If I check the formula, all is good. I will apply a currency here, maybe perhaps give it a $sign, and maybe a 1 decimal place or a no decimal place is fine. Click on OK. And that is nothing but my sales. It just takes a second to appear, and you're going to see that you have the sales measure added into your pivot tables right here, and that automatically gets added to your calculations right here. If I move out the sales quantity, you can now take a look at the sales right here. At this stage, you might just say that this is crap. This is not how sweet and tidy my data is. My data is scattered across multiple files. I have multiple CSVs, and I have to do a lot of massaging of the data even before getting to this particular XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP. You just showed a nice idea, but it doesn't work in real life. And yes, I totally get it, and I understand that. Now, to be able to clean the data, you need to master Power Query, through which we loaded the data at the start of this particular video. Mastering Power Query would simply mean that you're able to connect to as complicated sources of data, massage it, automate the entire process, and get all the data in one single place, perhaps Excel or Power Pivot. Then the other thing that you need to learn, that you might want to carry out more sophisticated analysis than just showing the total sales. This could be showing sales by year to date, month to date, growth over last year versus current year, things like that. And all of that is possible using the DAX formula language. I teach all of these in a very structured way in my Goodly Insider community. In case you're interested, I'm going to leave the link down. We also do a live masterclass every single month, which is where I take a lot of questions from the community members. At the moment, there are about 275 people in the community from all around the world, and we have a lot of fun learning things together. If you build good data modeling skills of Power Query and DAX and data modeling, you'll be able to build some really sophisticated spreadsheets and Power BI models that can take your learning and your job experience to the next level. You can obviously download this file, and I'm going to leave a link for you to check out the community at the bottom, and I'm going to keep seeing you in the future videos. Cheers.